Welcome to the Delvin Cox Experience, the podcast in which each week I am on a one-man mission to unite our culture through diversity. I'm your host, Delvin Cox, and with me on the pod is somebody who has been on it a while, man. A long-time favorite of the podcast, my boy, Mr. Rory Mitchell. How you doing, brother?
Delvin, we're here, and like Roman Reigns will say is acknowledge me.
It's been too far long, brother. How you been doing, man?
It's a new year. Some people like to say new me, but for me, it's just connecting, building, and striving for perfection in these community streets.
I like it. As always, we like to start the podcast off with the 5 for 5. 5 questions, 5 answers to get the ball rolling. Roy, are you ready?
I'm ready, then you will. Pass me the ball like Tom Brady, my man.
I like it. Question number 1. What album has influenced you in your life?
Damn, that's a good question. You know what? I'm gonna use this. I remember getting this album back when I was a kid. It had a song called "Hit 'Em High, Hit 'Em High, Hit 'Em Low, Hit 'Em Low." The Space Jam soundtrack. I really feel like I gravitated to that album. There's so many songs. I Believe I Can Fly. I sung that actually at my my grandparents' anniversary. It was their 60th anniversary.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. So I really feel like that album really positioned things, playing basketball, all that good stuff too. So, the vibes.
Definitely. I like that. Question number 2. If you could reboot any Black classic TV show, which one are you rebooting?
The Cosby Show.
I like that answer. Somebody else said that on a previous episode. And I was like, you can do it, but I don't think you can use the Cosby name anymore.
No, well, I think you could just insert different people. I think different influences in Black culture, Black females, Black males, and things like that. Who's got a comedy side to him, but he's very serious, I would say, is insert Idris Elba somewhere in that mix.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be really cool, actually, yeah. He'd do really good on the sitcom now that you mention it, yeah. I kind of like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 3. Who is the person that you have not interviewed on the podcast yet that you want to get on there?
Damn, you come with some great questions. Everybody knows my dream. My dream lineup is Drake and Denzel Washington.
I like that.
I believe right now, because we're still in that video game era, I do want to get a crack at iPod King Carter or Ty Siano, right? They're both NBA 2K players, so I'd love to chop it up with some content with them guys.
Those seem feasible. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 4. What was your favorite food as a kid?
Probably lasagna, and it still is.
Okay.
Good old mom's making lasagna. You know what I mean?
So it never changed then?
No, can't. Come on, man. It's lasagna, bro. You can't go wrong there.
That's a good point. But some people change. Like growing up, some people like pizza, then they get older and they start liking steak and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Different palates and things like that.
Lasagna is for me, man.
I like lasagna. Lasagna is really good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Question number 5. If you could create a TV show with your favorite Black actors, what kind of show would it be, and what actors or actresses would you use?
Damn, man, you come with some great questions. Holy. Let's create True Detective.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Let's create, I'm going to take a page out of the book here, because he actually was supposed to be in the movie 7 with Morgan Freeman. A lot of people may not know that. So I'm going to say this. Denzel Washington.
Okay.
Right, as one of the detectives. Morgan Freeman as another one of the detectives.
Okay, I like that.
The villain, oh my goodness. The villain. the villain the villain would have to be Idris Elba. I know that seems like it's a trending name, right?
That is a good one, though. That is a good one.
Right. Have him be the killer, and then you got to know how to spin it off and put some different people in the mix. Maybe do a cameo appearance with some Matthew McConaughey's in the world. See, HBO might be hearing this, and they might take this idea now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
If they do, but y'all owe my man some money. Pay up.
You owe me the bag. Why I say this is because all those actors are all brilliant in their own way. You know what I mean?
I agree.
If you look back at the movie, what was it? Was it Virtuosity?
Virtuosity was that Denzel movie. Yeah, that was really good.
Where you put on the glove or something like that, and then they went up on the top of the scaffolding. Yeah. So Denzel can always play a good antagonist and protagonist, honestly. So to put him in the hero role versus like a strong villain would be something amazing to see.
I like that.
And somebody that can actually, supplement who he is as a man and a brilliant actor. I heard that Macbeth movie is supposed to be next level. I haven't got a chance to see it yet, but
I haven't either. I heard it's really good. I heard it's really, really good. And I need more stuff like that to watch. I've been on a more of a kick. I want to check out African American movies after watching Judas and the Black Messiah. Such a fantastic movie.
That was good. Oh,
so good.
That was good.
And
that was good.
And it's crazy because I want to say I watched Soul first, because I watched these both around the time they came out. I watched Soul first, and I was like, "This is really good." If for those who haven't seen Soul, you definitely need to check that movie out. Mm-hmm. Then I watched Judas and the Black Messiah. I'm like, "Oh, this is really good." And it's kind of getting a little bit more off topic. What I want to discuss with you today. Black creators are creating some amazing content these past few years. Whether you look at Power's a good one. Everything for life, everything 50's creating right now is dope, for one thing. So that's off the top of the head. Then you have Empire and things like that. But you just have a lot of content from Black creators. Even if you look at the podcast area, your podcast, Joe Budden's podcast, all the things Charlamagne the God is doing. It's a lot of Black creators out there creating dope content, man. It's just kind of like a surge, and I love it.
It's good. But, I got to be very mindful what I say, because it's good to see, but is it really getting recognized on the forefronts that we need to be seeing it, right? And I woke up this morning, and it was so funny because I was thinking about, I was like, what are me and Delvin going to talk about? And I felt like content creation was going to be into it, but I feel like what's happening with us, I found you in the podcasting space, right?
Yes.
So we always have supported each other.
That's correct.
But there's not a lot of support in Black content creators, because I feel like there's jealousy or envy somewhere along the lines. And it should never be like that in our culture. You see where we've come from. You know what I mean? This everything with, the George Floyd, and we were rallying in the streets and all this and making, tweets and really supporting each other, but it's gone away now. Black History Month is approaching. You know what I mean? So what that means is, and I always preach this and I say is, in my circle, my inner circle group, us as Black creators have to stand up and support each other by sharing that content, right? Liking that content. Even if you're on Instagram, whatever platform you're on, throw a like, retweet on Twitter, Instagram, throw it up in your story, so that, that love in the comments and things like that, because we're all in this together. There's nobody that's out here trying to be a celebrity or thinking that they're better than they are. It's just, we just have to be a collective unit, because we see other races of people doing this, right? You see on TikTok, I see a lot of Black creators, they don't get acknowledged. They're not getting acknowledged. They're not getting acknowledged. Well, there's a reason probably behind that, because us as a culture are not supporting that, because we look at TikTok to think it's about the dances. We look at TikTok to think it's about the voiceovers. Heck, I do the voiceovers. Heck, I experienced 2020 doing dances. It ain't for me, but I said, let me come back to that platform and really play differently. And you starting to see some of the brothers, some of the sisters that are out there liking that content, even on Instagram. You see what I'm saying? I'm always up under some people's comments on Instagram. Yo, supporting Black excellence. Let's continue to keep on building, because we're in this together. You know what I mean?
I agree, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's an interesting topic, and that's kind of where I want to go with this conversation. in terms of we don't support each other enough. And I will even go even further than that. We don't support each other when we're doing positive things. I'll give you a perfect example. I want to say a couple of weeks ago, there was these TikTok videos that became popular for the wrong reason of the buff black dude dancing everywhere and things like that, having fun. People from our community is clowning the buff black dude, making fun of him and things like that. I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it as like, this is a young black man having fun, man, and being who he wants to be. And when it comes to us being who we choose to be and who we want to be and living our life and being carefree and having fun, we get clowned for that. Like, we can't be ourselves. And I don't have a problem, like, us being ourselves, whether if it's perceived as corny or not, gets clowned. You have to have this kind of facade of either you're a street dude or this or that, or you don't get respected for that. But there are multiple layers in black culture. There are street dudes. There are muscle-bound dudes. There are dancers. Black just doesn't come in one shade. I think that's the problem that we kind of have today in terms of we celebrate sometimes the wrong things and we don't respect all aspects of black culture.
I have to chuckle to myself because you hit the nail on the head. Now I'm going to be the other hammer, or the next hammer to hit even more. You know, what I've realized, somebody has Canadian, Jamaican background and things like that. What I see a lot of the things happen is we're so quick to recap the moments in hip hop, right?
Yeah.
If it's NBA YoungBoy, you know, on these apps talking mess. If it's, you know, Derrick and the King Vons, RIP to all of them, you know, to King Von and stuff like that, or the Tekashi 6ix9ines. We want to celebrate trauma, the hood life, people getting gunned down in the streets, people getting stomped out in the streets. What the positivity aspect? Is it because we're not used to that?
It could be.
What's positive about the black culture? Well, there's a lot to be celebrated. If you want to look at our athletes, you want to look at our actors or people of influence, there's so many people. But when we see people making that switch to the dial and turning it, right? And being motivational speakers, speaking about things, you know, politics, financial freedom, things like that. Oh, he talking like he don't know what's going on. And then there's a rivalry that starts up. I don't see it because the white man can support the white man, the white woman. The natives can support each other. But why is it our culture never want to step and unite together?
Yeah.
And you know what? I know there's going to be a lot of people are going to listen to this and be like, oh, here he goes again. He's going to get on his soapbox. He's going to start talking. But this is the truth. And I have not seen any collective, black men that can come to me and actually have this conversation articulately. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. There's guys I've reached out to, right? There's guys I reached out to. I'm not going to throw no names because it's not what it's about. And because I don't know if they think it's because they're bigger or they're better than, they don't want to collab. They don't want to sit down for 15 minutes and have a conversation. Why is that? We're stronger together, people.
Yeah.
Hello? We're stronger together. But we don't want to collaborate because, oh, he may be Canadian. What's the agenda here? Is he using my content? No, I'm looking about collaboration. That's why I respect you, because you're the type of dude that brings people together, right? Yes. You bring a lot of people together. You bring a lot of focal point conversations to the mix, and we need more of that. I do the exact same thing, right? That's why I'm like, it would be so much easier if I was in the States, because I feel like there's some great content me and you could do.
Oh yeah,
on a
definitely.
On a bigger scale. But we're remote, and that's fine because you can make use to your advantages there. And there's some disadvantages, is what it is. But I will say this again. Us as black men gotta stand up for what it is we believe in. And it doesn't matter if, as long as you see the consistency pouring through each and every day, each and every week, start really honing into that and find if says, yo, how can I help serve you to build into this community and make it a better place?
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that, because it's crazy that I'm saying this, but this is very true. It's a lot harder for me to get black creators, whether it's podcasters, or other content creators on my podcast than it is to get white creators.
Hmm.
And it's crazy because I don't understand why. I get, maybe it's because of my platform. My platform's open to everybody, whether you're black, white, Asian. I have everybody on the podcast because it's about diversity. And it's about kind of figuring out who people are. So you may have a Rory Mitchell on one week, and then you may have a Jody B on another week. People from two different cultures and backgrounds. But I do that so we can understand each other better. But at the same time, I'm 100% a black man. So anytime I get the chance to highlight black people and black culture, I'm always there to do that. Whether it's a Rodney Barnes, who people should know. He helped create the Boondocks. He wrote for the Boondocks show. One of our shows that we love and know. We should be supporting him. Like, he wrote the Wu-Tang series. That's out now that everybody loves. These are the type of people that we should be knowing and supporting. So when we hear the name Rodney Barnes, we should be like, oh yeah, that guy. He's one of us. He's awesome. We should support that. And doing when I put people on like that on a platform like mine, I want people of my color who know, say, damn, that is dope. These are the type of people we should do. We should try to buy. He's doing a horror comic book series now called Philadelphia. That is amazing that people should check out. But it's hard getting out the word for that because people kind of fall in their own circles and they want to follow the negativity and things like that. But I'm always on this platform trying to promote black excellence first and foremost because I appreciate our people. I appreciate my platform. And with my platform, I'm all about uplifting our people. Just like you are, by the way.
So much there to unpack because I feel like us black people, some of us suffer from imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
The fear of not thinking we're good enough. You know what I mean?
I do sometimes.
Yeah. And it happens. You know what I mean? But how do we get better? How do we get out of those conversations? What do we start doing? Right. You asked me a question even before we hit the record button. 2020. A lot of podcasters I've seen slow their whole momentum down. You have to have range in this space of content creation. You have to have range in podcasting. The Delvin Cox experience, right? You talk about several different topics. My podcast, I talk about several different things. Now, I've done a rebrand within a rebrand within a rebrand,
yes.
Right? I can go back and talk about sports if I want to, but that's not my niche. I got to think more out the box. Self-development, entrepreneurship, building a business, overcoming adversity, but also hosting more women's voices on the platform.
Very important.
I made that vow to myself in 2020. So when you asked me that question, I didn't let COVID-19, I didn't let this pandemic slow me down because I know I can still do a remote podcast. I've always done remote podcasts. If I tell you everything I've went through from using a speaker to connect, to have it project to the mic, right? And being on Bluetooth on iPhone, I've been there, done that. You know what I mean? Now you have the Zooms of the world, the Riversides of the world, the Zencasters of the world. You can create content. You see what I'm saying? You can create content with your iPhone. You can create content with your digital camera, whatever it is you do, you name it. And I have a lot of people say to me in 2020, oh, how do you keep podcasting? Like, I heard Dame Dash say something in a clip that went viral and said is, I don't got time for stupid conversations. So when I hear that, it's like, are you asking me to ask me just to get my response? Like, think about the questions you're asking. How I create is because I can simply sit here and put my best foot forward to guess what? Know how to create content. I've done the Zoom thing. You see what I'm saying? And it's, hey, you create how you want to create. I've recorded on all these different type of platforms. Whatever I feel is good for me is what I'm going to do. Right. I don't believe in, showing up half-assed sometimes when I get behind the mic or get behind a camera lens. Quality. You see what I'm saying? Quality over quantity. But see, a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people don't want to bring quality. They think, quantity. Let's pack the plate. It's like you go to a buffet, you pack in the plate. No. Separate it. Right? Know how to digest your meals as you're taking the fork to the knife to the spoon, whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? And know how to apply, push past. You know what I mean?
I know. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Let me ask you this. because I think this is also interesting to ask you about going on these topics. What is it like, and what's your process like, especially during the pandemic time, of booking guests for your podcast? And how do you decide who you want to have on?
Wow, you came with the questions today. Let's take it back to when so I still work retail. So we were in lockdown. And I spent a lot of time on Clubhouse back 2020 when I got the invite. It would have been around November, and this being in certain rooms and stuff like that when the app was actually just, free. It was like freelancing, right? And getting in different stages and stuff. So anywho, besides the point. And I made a vow and I said, is the first guest I want to have, one of the biggest impactful guests I want to have is David Meltzer, influencer, big focal point person, CEO of a company, things like that. And I said to a coworker, it was about February. I said, I'll have him on by April. And he goes, you're going to have David Meltzer on by April? I go, yeah. And I sent a pitch to his team. Took about a month to correlate, right? When it happened, they said, hey, listen, you got 20 minutes. I did a pattern interruption. I went in there for 13 to give it enough time because I know the questions I was going to ask. He's a high-skilled, high achiever when it comes to the space of business. So I don't need the 20 minutes. I need the 13 because guess what? It shows something. I value my time and I even value his time. I give this man another seven more minutes. Now, I say all of that to say this. When you're searching for the right person to bring on your platform, make sure there's a story that's there. Make sure they're going to be able to add some value there. I'm going to say that to say this now, because I've done podcasts where I've brought people. It was never about the numbers. It's never been about the numbers with me, right? Because the metrics are supposed to be used to build into your business. That's through branding. That's through sponsorship. That's to whatever deal. That's how you should be looking at your numbers. But too many people look at numbers and blue notification check marks as status. No, bring it back into your business. Convert that into cash. It's another topic for another day though, Delvin. So when I got David Meltzer to come on, it was amazing. And I said, listen, I want guys that earn and women that come on that earn and have a value story to tell. Now, I've had some people come on this podcasting platform, and I won't lie. In the 5 years of me doing this podcasting platform, there's a lot of people have a lot of things to say, right? I see everything. My eyes and my ears are connected everywhere. Trust me when I tell you. But when you have people that want to come on your platform, and then because they didn't get what they wanted, if it was a couple thousand followers or whatever they were looking for to build into their business, that's a problem. And I've seen it happen a lot of times because some people want to come on podcasts because it's a cool story, right? It's the buzz topic. There's 2 million podcasts in the world. So come on my podcast, let's talk, let's chop it up and let's do a collaboration. But no, when you want to make it about your business to be like, oh, well, you posted this clip and it didn't seem like it was for me. That tells me that you came on my podcast for numbers, for vanity metrics. Stop looking at the value and the big numbers and the big followers and thinking that you're going to be getting something back from it. Because I don't do that. And I've interviewed some high prolific people in this space. They've never retweeted my show or shared my show, but I know the value's there. Because the value is there when I get my audience members on the back end reaching out to me saying, Delvin, yo, I listened to that episode. It changed my life. It did this. It did that.
Yeah. Those are the ones that you value a lot. Like sometimes you don't think episode hit, then you get the messages about how people love the episode and how it changed certain aspects of their life and things like that. And I think that makes all this worth it. Let me ask you this. What is it like for you as a Black podcaster creating in this space in general? Because it's a lot. I know it seems like that's not a big deal, but it's a lot in this space that comes with being a Black podcaster, whether it comes to booking guests, whether it comes to how people want to perceive your podcast to what your podcast really is, to also the element of, Black podcasters not supporting Black podcasters because Black podcasters aren't doing the quote unquote black podcast? You get what I'm saying?
Great question. We could be here. I always say this, we'd be here for a long time. I look at, what does it mean to me? For me, it's this. I have a 1% system. Now, 1%, I want to inspire 1% of 7 point some odd billion people in this world. That's a large number. But I know if I can have one listener, it doesn't matter if they're black, white, brown, whatever their color of the skin is, come listen to my platform and apply something and take from it, that's a win. That's a win for me, right? Now, the black podcast, because there's so many conversations with that. And we think about protecting black women. And we may know the podcasts out there. I'm not going to give them any airtime.
No airtime.
And no airtime. And then then you look at like the other conversations in the manosphere. I don't want to give those people any airtime. Just get on your Googles, get on YouTube. You'll see what I'm talking about. And it's needed, right? But I've listened to one of those high prolific guys say something and says, being black and creating content, and when you go viral and you do what it is you need to do, you have to be prepared of the onslaught that's coming your way and how people are going to perceive you. Because guess what? Comments are a hell of a thing. You know this. I don't know if I'm telling you this right now. This is a disclaimer, short disclaimer. Paul Heyman spoiler. Delvin Cox is coming on the podcast. We're gonna do this part 2.
Yeah,
I feel like we're gonna deep dive us a teeny bit more. You know what I mean? But why I say all this is because you always have to be looking over your shoulder. What comments you're going to get? Are you going to offend somebody? Heck, 2019, I did a podcast conversation with an actress and I almost got my whole entire life existing canceled, right? Because the person that I was dealing with, and guess what? I'm going to wake it up. I don't even really care. The person I was dealing with tried to simply sit here and say I was laughing about a topic that wasn't even there. You know what I mean? And I had to tweet it about it because I got into my own head. But then you know what I realized? I said to myself, Delvin, I said, listen, don't listen to other people. If nobody else is saying anything, why are you listening to people that are close to you? Because A, it's either jealousy, because there's different ways to give feedback. But if it's jealousy, you can identify it. You give feedback as means, what did you meant when you said certain things, right? And I get people that are in my circle, right? Friends, you know, people I'm with say is, I listened to a part of your episode. What did that part mean? What were you trying to hammer out there? Help me understand, flush that out a little bit more. And I'm willing to do that because it's not coming from a negative space. It's speaking from I can't speak. It's coming from a place of curiosity, right? Eric Bischoff wrote a book says controversy creates cash. And that's why you see a lot of people wanting to create controversial topics. Yeah. To think that they can get the viral moments. I'm gonna tell you something. I've been viral already on TikTok. I've seen what 60K can do. Because I talked about the whole Starbucks situation not supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. And I looked at where my comments got crazy. And I got called out. I got called this. You look like a black character from Fortnite. And I was like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? Man. You know what I mean? I don't let that stuff get to me because you know what? I work the best off of adversity. You got to know how to shut out some of the noise. You got to know how to shut out some of the distractions. Positive comments, amazing. But there's people that will just come for you to troll you because of something you said. So I'm going to wake it up now. In Twitter. You know how many times I've said something on Twitter? I get these little accounts on their little click. Oh, you're trying to go viral. Okay. Is that what you got from that? Is that what you really got from that?
It's crazy.
I've had coworkers. Oh, what does that quote mean? Oh, you know, like you what does that mean? I said, listen, if you keep watching my stuff and you're going to troll me on my comments, listen, I'll block you out my existence. Well, you're not going to block me. Okay. If I block you, it means it's over. It's not because it's an emotional thing. No, it's because I don't want you in my space. Content creators, doesn't matter if you're black, white, brown, whatever your color your skin is. You see something you don't like, block it out of your existence.
Yeah.
Block.
Don't cost you nothing to pay people.
And charge them a fee. Charge them a fee if they want to get off the block list.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do. You want to see my content? You can pay to get off the block list. Because every account you create, I'm going to block it. till you pay me the fee. My fee starts at $75 US. What's yours?
That's brilliant. I like it.
I told you I came here for smoke today, bro.
I like it, man. I'm glad you brought that up because it's such social media, and I think this is an interesting place to take this. It's such a double-edged sword in terms of it helps you build your fan base. It helps you meet new people to network with. But it's also at the same time so toxic and so draining. So how do you deal with all that and kind of navigate through that rough terrain?
Well, I've never shied away from those conversation pieces. We've been in those conversation pieces. We've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not there anymore. You want to know why? Because I've removed myself out of it. Because I know that no matter what you do on social media, people can always go back to it. And I want people to go back to it. Because all you're doing here is giving me the airtime. That's all you're really doing. If you mention my name on social media, or you tweet at me, or you at me, your people are seeing you mention my name. So that means they're going to go click into the account and find out who this person is. So you're doing me free promo. That's what I call it, free promo. So how I deal with it is just, there's things at times you see, and I'm always mindful of the spaces that I keep. If I go into people's DMs, it's voice and it's business only. And I see a lot of these dudes, and I know a lot of these dudes, they're not in my life, not in my space anymore, that get frivolous in the DMs with women.
Oh, that's a problem.
Potato. But I'm going to tell you this right now. I can't do that as somebody that has influence, power. When you climb up levels in this space, you have to be mindful of the conversations that you keep. I can't go willy-nilly, see a girl single, I'm single, she's single, blah, 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 and I want to go shoot my shot in her DM on some crazy way, because that's a screenshot away. You have to protect a lot of what it is you believe in. You got to protect your brand. And it's kind of like you got to police a lot of things around you, because people will reach out to you and ask you questions to try to bait you into a response. People are out here as trolls. It's like Trolls Nation. The trolls with the frizzy hair and the jewel.
Yeah.
Grew up with there's a lot of people that do that. They want to be trolls. So if they want to troll you, troll them back by just not responding. Right? I tell one of my guys in the podcasting space, right? I'm Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker's a good dude.
Tucker's a great dude. But Tucker likes to troll me. And I've said to him, like, listen, if you don't stop trolling me, I'm going to block you. And literally, I will put him on block list for 24 hours if I need to. Because it's like, I don't want to hear those conversation pieces. And I love Tucker because he's a good dude. You know what I mean? But some people don't know their range. They just want to fire out at a clip. Listen, you keep firing out at a clip, bye. I'm just going to mute you, or I'm going to block you, or you're just never going to get back in my space again. That's what you got to do. And a lot of people feel, like when you see the success and you see these, 10K subscribers, or you get 11K followers. Like, one of the big content creators that we've heard of is sitting at like 1 million. You don't think he gets trolled?
Oh, yeah.
But what do you think he does? He's blocked people out of his spaces. I've watched him on live streams do this, but we're not going to call his name. People just pay attention. You probably already know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this, because you were mentioning it multiple times. Because this is a touchy subject. But I want to ask you about it because you mentioned it a couple times. What is your process like for bringing women onto your podcast and in your spaces to create content with them? Because us being men in the climate it is today is not easy as it was before. You can't just hop in a DM and be like, hey, you want to come? Because people may take it the wrong way. Messages may get mixed. It can get a little messy. So what is it like for you trying to move out in this space like that?
So emails is the first better way to go through, but if I go into the DM, it's through voice communication, and I always introduce myself. But there has to be some bridge that's there. Now, what does that mean for me is that when I go to pitch, certain topics, especially in the DM, I released an ebook, which I'm going to do a 2.0 version of it, hopefully probably around Super Bowl weekend, about the power of communication through the voice.
Okay.
And I've had a female podcaster come on. I reached out to her. She came on the podcast back in 2020, and I did it with her. Now, she's in a relationship and all that, but she goes, when you went in with voice, the first thing I looked at was you are not the top of the priority list, right? And she goes, I was focused on that because you're not just typing words. It's like a bait and switch. When you go on the voice, it's going to force somebody to listen. What's this person saying? It's all business. It's always going to be business. It's not like, yo, hey, like, what's going on? I see your post there. I'm trying to holler at you. No, that's not, I would never do that. But as a Black man, it now becomes a little bit issues and problematics. Now, there's some big accounts I've reached out to, people that are in the podcasting space. We're all connected. And you get left on scene. So when I get left on scene, I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm not going to knock on your door again, because if you don't want to respond back to me, that's several different reasons. And maybe it's because you were busy at the time. You don't know who it is that I am. I don't know, but you're going to know about me. So when you go to reach out to me and you want to come on my platform, well, that's going to be another topic for another day, because it's never probably going to happen. When you leave somebody on scene or you leave somebody on red, it's like even in relationships and texting. I don't play with that. So that means you're just going to watch me from the outside in, because you're ignorant, right? All you have to respond back and say is, hey, like, listen, not today, not tomorrow. None of this, I'm going to take 2 to 3 months to respond back to you, because I'm just going to watch from the back end to see who you bring on or what type of content you're creating. A lot of people do this, men and women. But for me, getting women on the show, I keep a high level of respect and boundaries. And I've had guys reach out to me and say, yo, you had this girl on, you had that girl on. What are those conversations looking like behind the end? Your guys are probably on each other's lines texting. You're probably talking on the phone. No, I'm not. Honest to God, Delvin. No, I am not. Because it's about business. I believe in building networks. I believe in collaborating and building into your network with people that, you know what? You could say, hey, listen, Delvin, I interviewed this lady, or I've interviewed this girl, this and that. You know what? Bring them onto your platform, because there's a story to be told there, right? No conversations are ever blurred lines, right? I've had guys say to me, whoa, yo, you can tell this by like the conversation that she's probably digging you. Okay, dig all the way. Dig all the way. She has a shovel. You're not going to be able to come into my backyard and start digging. It's not happening. Now, for people that are saying what happens if something organically builds, that's another topic for another day, because I'm pretty sure you're going to have that conversation. And if you're articulate enough, you can simply say, hey, like, listen, you kind of have a nice vibe. I know we created a podcast. Hey, what's your situation like? Let's take it a little bit, maybe more deeper. Let me get to know you a little bit more. Heck, it's social media, right? Everybody's on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, doing all this stuff. Maybe you meet your love of your life in the podcasting space. Maybe you meet your love of your life on Twitch. I don't know, but be respectful about it. You get what I mean? Be respectful about it. The thing is about us Black men, there's a stigma that attaches to a lot of us, right? And people will look at us to be the threat, or what are they doing? Or look, what's he trying to get here? That's why I don't understand why dudes send dick pics to women. That's because weird. Like, if I was a girl, man, if I was born female, I'm airing you out. I'm gonna blur your thing out, your little thingy, your little eggplant out. I'm gonna put you up on my whatever social media is. I'm gonna say, get this guy out of here. You see what I'm saying? That's weirdo behavior. Now, if you got a girl, that you're going good, you guys are dating, I'm not saying you send her a dick pic, but you know you're gonna flirt with her a little bit different. I mean, hey, listen, honey, when I see you, you know what time it is.
Yeah.
That's when it's acceptable.
I never got
That's when it's acceptable.
Never understood it. Like, it makes no sense to me.
Bro, I know guys. I'm going to say it. I don't care. I'm here to wake it up. We have to be, as men, accountable. if you are in a business and a place of business and you're wanting to build, don't use your craft and your tools to basically get whatever it is you want to get from women, right? If you're in the health and fitness space, be a trainer, train those women. That doesn't mean you sleep with those women or try to go in their DM different ways. If you're a photographer, do not simply sit here and take photographs of women to then want to have your way with them after. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a certain level that needs to be checked by a lot of these dudes, but men don't want to be checked. Men don't want to hold other men accountable. I'm going to say this. If you see this in your friends group and you got men that are doing this type of stuff in a place of business and they're not making a safe platform for women, you need to call those men out. Because if you're simply not calling them out, you're an accomplice to that. You're enabling that. I don't enable anything around me anymore, right? And this has been my new model, Delvin. And I don't want to get too much more long-winded, but there's a lot of people out here. There's a lot of rats out here that want the cheese, but they don't want to put the work in. You get what I mean?
Oh, 100%. I like it. Final question. I think this will wrap this up with a nice, pretty bow. What advice do you have for Black creators about how to move their platform, just how to move in the podcasting space today? If you give them one bit of advice.
Be consistent is number one. Number two, don't fear anything. Just try to do it. What you can do is, if you're not the best speaker, that doesn't mean get on a podcast, right? Doesn't mean put a mic in your face. Maybe you do quick little vlog. And how you can do that in such a way is by going into your washroom and practice speaking to yourself in the mirror, right? That's one of the things you can do, because you get to understand who it is that you are, or talk amongst your friends. Maybe take your phone, put it on voice note if you want to get into the podcasting space, and just bring up a topic of conversation. You put the phone right in the middle and then you listen back to it. And that's how you can really start grading yourself. A lot of podcasters are not going to school for radio broadcasting or journalism anymore. A lot of them are just building it by what they see, the podcasts that they're inspired by. If you wanted to create content, look, use your phone. Don't go out buy that high-tech equipment, right? There's so many applications that we have out there on our smartphones. Figure out which one it is. But also, the last important piece, if you're wanting to get into content creation, understand your niche and understand what it is you want to do. If you want to be in health and fitness, be health and fitness. But if you're in health and fitness, you can't talk about automobiles, right? If you want to be in the video game space, be in the video game space. That doesn't mean you're going to talk about stereo systems. You know what I mean? If you want to be in the tech space, be in the tech space. That doesn't mean get into the, fruits and vegetable space or doing meal preparation. No, you got to stick in your niche and intertwine it with the things that matter, right? For me, my niche is podcasting, content creation, self-development, entrepreneurship, building a business, and overcoming adversities to get your mindset to level up. That's my niche. That's why I've rebranded myself, not as a life coach. I am a certified life coach, but certified lifestyle coach. Because everything in life is between life, mindset, soul, body. How do we articulate? How do we move?
I like it. I like it a lot, man. Thank you for coming on, brother. Let them know where to find you at. And of course, I'm going to be on your podcast soon. So,
yes, sir. Well, the podcast is very simple. Mitchell Report Unleashed podcast on all streaming platforms. Instagram, officially.Rory, officially Rory on all channels, YouTube, all that other good stuff. And guys, let me tell you something for 2022. Just smarten up. Honestly, smarten up. Really smarten up and know why it is that you're here to do what it is you want to do. Doesn't matter if you have a 9-to-5. If you have a 9-to-5, that's good. Do the work. But if you're wanting to get in the space of content creation, it is an oversaturated market at the moment, but you can stand out by just applying the right foundation. And ask for help, man. Ask for help. Go into DMs, ask somebody, hey, listen, can I help? Can you help me? And I'm telling you, there's some genuine people out there. Myself, I'm always a DM away. If you want help, actual help, not frivolous conversations, because then you're out my space.
I like it. I like it. Thank you for coming on, brother. And as always, Delvin Cox Experience, we are out. Peace.